Hey, everybody, and happy Friday to you all. I am here
Oh,
with
yes.
the beauteous Neen, and this is Crime Talk. Hi,
Oh, yeah.
guys.
Hi, Steph. Happy
Hey,
Crime Talk
happy
Friday.
Crime Talk Friday to you. I've got the
Mm,
crime tape behind me,
sure
so you
do. The
know it's about
graffiti
to
on the
be on and
wall.
popping. Yeah, it is. And
Oh,
yeah, but before we, get into some nitty gritty, how was your day? Was it as
oh.
crazy as my eyeliner looks right now? Because this is a summation of what the day
No,
was.
your eyeliner looks, it does not look
Oh,
great.
now you're gonna say it looks nice. Thank you. Before earlier,
Well,
folks, she was like, "Yeah,
that's just how my
what's
brain is.
that?"
Well, I guess I got back free for the, you know.
Oh my God, 20 years later.
Oh man, no, my day was crazy. It was like, you know what and it's my fault in a way because I went to bed really late because I
Mhm.
was actually no, I was in bed, but I was watching. Been so addicted to this sailor that this woman sailor that she's like the first woman to sail around the world by
What is
herself.
this a real show? Like a
Yeah,
really?
on Instagram, they've been documenting her since November, and she's been on at sea for 131 days.
So,
And she literally in a tiny little sailboat.
I have questions. Is there a shower aboard? Is there a toilet? Does she pull over to shower and poop?
No, like she has a shower. She must get it from the ocean or something because she does shower. And I don't know how she poops. I know it was so funny because on the Instagram live, everybody was asking like all these questions, and that was one of them. It was like, how do you store all your food? Like all her food is like dry. Was that dry, freeze
Yeah,
dried and
freeze
stuff?
dry.
Um, but yeah, 131 days by herself. And it's crazy when you put into perspective because they were like watching her come into dock and pass the finish line. And you only saw her on her boat. So you didn't really get a perspective of how small the boat was. But she was docking in Spain. That's where the finish line was. And when she was coming in and they were looking at her, I was like, holy shit, that boat is small. And to think like she's 29 years old
Oh my God.
and she's the first American woman to sail across the world
The
by
world
herself.
in less than a
Yeah.
year.
hmm In 4 months.
Ew, I'm freaked out. Like, so was it like a little sailboat?
hmm Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it was crazy. And like every morning I'd wake up and she'd give updates. So I'm like, oh my gosh, where is she? Because you could see her on the map. And
Wait.
yeah,
What's her name?
Cole Brower. Um, yeah, it's really inspiring. I was like, oh my gosh, like people are like, oh my God, it's so like cheesy that you're following this, but it's like really inspiring. I'm like, gosh, this is something that's like part of history, you know? Yeah, it's Cole Brower
Oh,
Racing, Ocean Racing.
I found
And
her.
it's
Oh,
just
she's
like,
cute. She doesn't look
yeah, and it's just
ratchet.
very, no, not at all. And she's just like very humble and I was like crying. I felt like I was like there. I was like, oh my gosh, like her parents were there to see her when she came back. And like when you think about it, like I don't know how many people, I think 16 were in this race because it was a race. And
Oh
she
my
came in
God.
second. So everybody starts at a different time depending on the speed of their sailboat. So she came in second, but to be the first woman, that's like a feat in itself. Like she's number one and you know, to like so many young girls and stuff. So, but to know like you're by yourself in the ocean and at any time like a big wave could come and take you out, like your sails can like, you know, rip.
Yeah.
Like there's so many things.
How does one sleep? Because don't you have to have someone keep watch?
Yeah, and that's what she would sleep during the day, like a lot of times because, she just didn't have an opportunity at night because at night that's when the wind and like it was just like the current was so bad. So she would be fighting like waves and stuff and she would have to do all these things. And it's just fascinating to be
This
able to have the courage to do that by yourself.
amazing. I'm instantly hooked. So
hmm
everybody, so I found her, and like you said, it's Cole Brower Ocean Racing on Instagram, and
Uh-huh.
now I'm gonna be up tonight catching
Yeah.
up. Wow. Thank you.
But yeah,
I needed another reason. My cleaning videos
right.
aren't doing it anymore.
I know. I straight up was up until like 2 a.m. just watching her. So I was so tired this morning. I was like, but it was worth it. I was like, I have to see her like past the finish line.
What time
So,
did she pass the finish line today? Sorry.
I think it was like 1 a.m. this
Oh my
morning.
God.
Yeah. So Tony's like, "Oh my God, you're crazy. You couldn't just look at the updates." I was like, "No." I felt like I felt like I had to be there to witness this because I was so
Yeah.
invested. I
Like,
subscribed to her channel for $4. I was like, "This, I'm gonna make this $4 count." Okay, I've never done that.
damn, you were not playing. Oh my
No, I
God.
wasn't. But anyways, how was your day, Steph?
It was good. It was slightly busy. Again, like it's not supposed to be this busy,
Mm-hmm.
work and everything. And just there's some changes afloat at work. And I don't like that because it's like you don't
Mm-hmm.
know. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's just a matter of time for that to like happen. And then it'll be like settled for a little bit. And then it's just my crazy I taught and then my
Mm-hmm.
last Daddy Yankee dance class and performance night is in two
Wow.
weeks and we're like, it's really hard. Oh
Oh
my
man, so
God.
is your last one? So the next 2 weeks you just practice?
Yes. So next week is a silent week. So we're practicing as if we have class.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're practicing tomorrow and then blah, blah, blah. And then we have run throughs for like 3 hours on Monday, like not this Monday, but the following. And then performance night is Wednesday, and we
Mm-hmm.
do 2 hour rehearsals as if until we in the order of the appearance until showtime.
Well,
And
wait, so are you doing both at the same in the same night?
yes,
Have you oh man. Really? Son of a gun.
yes, my friend is going to come help me on Saturday to work through the Janet Jackson one because I haven't done it with my team. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
where I'm standing. I don't know what I'm doing. So I've
Oh,
just been
wow.
rehearsing that like crazy. I can't wait. I'm excited, but I'm scared. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
let's do this. Let's fake it.
Oh, that's so exciting. That's going to be an adrenaline
Oh my
rush.
God, I mean, but Angel looks so good during
Oh,
the
I
Daddy
bet.
Yankee. Like, I just
Oh,
love it
so
because we do line changes. So, like, I'm in the front in the beginning, and then I go backwards, and then she's in the front. But watching her, like, she's gonna be 49 on Tuesday. Like,
that is so
poor
crazy.
girl. Yeah.
Yeah, what the hell?
My little angel. I'm so
Oh,
proud of her. 40
wow.
freaking nine. I'm taking her to Italy for her birthday next year. Like, I don't
Oh, I
care.
love it. I know. Yeah, that's right. You guys were gonna do that this year, weren't? Was it Italy this year?
Yeah,
But
we are supposed to do it this year. And then I was like, I need a little pause from flying for a little bit, unless it's to
Mhm.
Mexico to relax on a beach with a margarita. Like, I
Yeah,
really just need a little breaky poo from the air. Like, I'm just
yeah.
like,
Did you see that freaking airplane today? It's
what now?
in at a SFO, they had a plane, United plane lifted off, and during
United.
takeoff, the what is it? The tire fell off.
Okay, here's my question. Don't people review these things before takeoff? How is this
That's what I'm
happening?
saying. Yeah. How does that happen? Because, like you said, where's the person checking the screws? You know what I mean?
Mm-mm.
Like, uh,
No,
and
that's
that's the
not
thing
okay.
is, how do can they can they land without a tire? I mean, I know people have, but I
I don't know because the
made a big
tires
deal
touch
about that.
the thingy. Like it's gonna be a
Yeah.
rough landing, screeching it. Oh
Yeah,
hell
it is
no! I
pretty
hope they
mad.
no.
I
See,
mean,
this is another reason.
yeah, that's madness. I can't. Ugh. I don't know, but you know what? Let's hop into our subject because I am so excited for this.
Oh my God. Okay. So now that we're all cozy, well, actually,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I'm on edge because of the airplane. But okay, so now I'm ready to talk about some crime. So
Mm-hmm.
as I was mentioning off air, I got inspired by our last podcast sesh that just dropped about 90s slang versus today and how 90s is just like better, like
Mm-hmm.
clearly better than today. Okay. Specifically when it comes to the word, yes, we're gonna say it again, delulu. Delulu. So that word inspired me, made me think of a certain person. Okay.
Hmm.
In the true crime world. And you guys, if you're like heavy in the true crime, probably are gonna guess what I'm gonna say, but I'm not gonna say it quite yet. But this person could very well be the poster child for the word Delulu.
Mm-hmm.
And first, let me just start off by saying I'm not in no way trying to make light of the event that took place. But when I learned about some of the things that this person did leading up to said event, watching the footage of this person while in custody, or even when this person had her freaking mugshot taken, I couldn't help but think, wow, this person is seriously Delulu. Like, what planet are you on?
Uh-huh.
I mean, she's a lot of other words, but she's definitely Delulu. So
I agree.
now I'm going to officially retire that word. No more. But first, before we dive in, I want to just issue the trigger warnings for the case because we're going to be talking about a violent death by shooting and stabbing, discussions of alleged physical and sexual abuse, and brief discussions on like the crime scene itself. So, listener discretion is advised. So, today I wanted to share with you all the Jodi Arias case.
Woo,
Yes. This
exciting.
is yeah, this case is one that many peeps have covered on podcasts, documentaries, made for TV movies, books,
Mhm.
and there are of course lots of articles available online as well, including transcripts. Okay, if you're ever bored,
Wow.
just read the transcripts. Okay, that is get yourself a
Dang.
bottle of wine, some popcorn, and you'll have yourself a good night just by her interrogation alone. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think, I don't know, tell me what you think, but I think that this reason that this was heavily covered, like everyone wanted to know about it, was because of Jodi, like her
Mm-hmm.
behavior after she was caught by police and her looks. Let's just call it what it is.
Mm-hmm.
She was this pretty petite girl. Like, what? Like, oh my God, how could she have done anything? And her
Yeah.
victim was a super built man named
Mm-hmm.
Travis Alexander. Like, how is it that this petite little thing was able to overpower and murder this man? And why? That is the
Yeah,
question. So I think that's why
exactly.
it has us all like, damn, like
Mm-hmm.
it's intense. So first, let's do a little bit of backstory on both peeps. So, ladies first. Jodi Ann Arias was born on July 9th, 1980, in Salinas, California, to parents William and Sandra Arias, and has three younger siblings and an older half sister. So, there's quite a few versions of Jodi's childhood floating around out there. Some she talked about at her trial, and the version her parents and family members gave. According to family, Jodi had a very normal and happy childhood. She got along great with her siblings. I mean, her bestie was her younger brother, Carl. When you hear Jodi talk about her childhood, however, she painted quite like the opposite picture. She claimed that both her parents were physically abusive towards her. They would beat her with a belt and with wooden spoons. Honestly, who really knows? But what is fact is Jodi dropped out of school when she was 17, so she was like in her junior year of high school, and she moved out with her boyfriend at the time, a boy named Bobby. And they lived in a trailer, and Jodi got a job as a waitress to help pay for the bills. So, one thing that almost everyone did say about Jodi back then, anyways, was that she was a go getter. She was extremely ambitious, a people person, and she wanted to be financially secure. So she was always working. And she was
Mm-hmm.
also apparently like really good at photography. Like she picked it up as a hobby and then ended up being really good. Like she had an eye for
Mm-hmm.
it. So she was actually hired for several photography gigs. So how cool is that?
Wow. Mm-hmm.
So, in the fall of 2001, Jodi began working as a server at the Ventana Inn and Spa in Carmel, California. And it was there that she caught the eye of restaurant manager Daryl Brewer, and the two began to date. During the course of their 4-year relationship, they decided to buy a house together in Palm Desert. So, according to Daryl, things were great. He had a son from his first marriage, and Jodi kind of stepped into the role or the unofficial role of stepmom. Daryl's family also really liked Jodi. So, from the sound of all this, you'd think, wow, marriage is probably next on the agenda for these two. But according to Daryl, their relationship started to fizzle a bit once he shared with Jodi, hey, guess what? I don't want kids and or any more kids. And this was kind of a deal breaker for her because she's still young. He was older than her by like
Mm-hmm.
several years. And she's young and she wanted to
Mm-hmm.
be a mom one day. So she was like, okay, this is going to probably not work out for us in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
And their relationship did continue to weaken after Jodi got a new job. So in May of 2006, Jodi began working for a company called Prepaid Legal, which is now known as Legal Shield. And it's known as an MLM. I don't know or understand what those are. Like, it's where
Oh
you
yeah,
like
those
try
are
to, yeah, where you try to bring people
yeah.
in, and the more people you bring, the higher
Hmm.
up you get in the company, and etc. Like,
Exactly.
it's kind of like
It's kind of
Landmark.
Amway. I know
Yeah,
we
but I
both had
was
different.
right. Like, do you
Yeah, it's
remember
just that
Landmark?
multi-level. No, what's Landmark?
Like, it was like this, I don't want to say religious thing, but like it was like a group where you go, you're invited by somebody. Okay, so there's the
Mm-hmm.
MLM thing.
Right.
And you
Mm-hmm.
listen to how to better yourself and empower yourself. And I'm all about that. But like
Mm-hmm.
you have to go to seminars and then you have to bring somebody, and it's kind of like cultish.
Oh, yeah. I've
Yeah.
never heard of that. What are you
Oh,
selling? Are you selling anything?
for Landmark, you mean? Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's like to become a higher being, or like not, but
Oh,
like
interesting. So
yeah,
it's
I
more like a like self.
self growth.
Yeah.
Yes,
Interesting. So
but
like, do you know Amway? Have you heard of that?
I've heard of the name, but I don't know what that means.
Okay, it's kind of like groceries but online. But they're like special groceries that and like food products that you could buy. And it's the same concept. Like everybody there's like this main person, then they have their little group and whatever that little group makes and whatever whoever they bring in, they make money. It's just a chain. So the top person gets paid by everybody below them. So
Yeah.
that's why it's, that multi-level marketing.
Holy crap. Well, thank you. I was like MLM.
hmm Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
a lot of these ones that you see online, like Beauty Counter, Unique,
Mary
what's it?
Kay.
Mary Kay, like all those are all considered like multi-level marketing because,
Interesting.
you're bringing people in and you're basically, but the little people basically pay the bigger people.
Oh my God. Okay.
And it's common in like Mormon, um, like the Mormon community, a lot of them are incorporated in this type of like work.
I am glad you said that, because Mormonism does come into play in this story. Like,
Oh,
so
that's right.
that's
Hmm.
interesting.
Hmm.
So yeah, so like she's at this place, and in September of that same year, so in 2006, she attends the company's conference in Viva Las Vegas, where she meets Travis Alexander. So he's there because he's a salesperson as well as a motivational speaker for the company. So she's like really impressed by him, and after talking for a bit with her, so was Travis. So like the feeling was mutual. The two hit it off right away, and Travis invited Jodi to be his date for one of the upcoming events, and she like was like, yeah, let's do this. So they attended the event, and then they spent the entire evening just chatting that night away and getting to know each other more and more. And the more Travis spoke to her, the more impressed he became with her. So like everyone around Jodi was like, wow, she's really impressive, like including him. Like there was just something about this girl. And he, of course, also thought she was really beautiful.
Hmm.
So, before we continue with this, I do want to give a bit of backstory on Travis. So, Travis Victor Alexander was born on July 28th, 1977, in Riverside, California, to parents Gary and Pamela Alexander. So, Travis unfortunately had a really terrible childhood. So, both his parents were drug addicts and were severely abusive towards him and his siblings. They like completely neglected them. It was just not a good scene.
Wow.
And so when Travis was around 10, he went to go live with his paternal grandparents, and thankfully his life improved there. And it was around this time that he converted to Mormonism after being introduced to the religion by his grandma. So he really, really thrived in this church. He loved it. He loved the teachings, the friends he made, and he truly felt like he was finally a part of something great. So Mormonism, his religion, became like a major part of him throughout his life until the end of his life.
Mhm.
So back to Jodi and Travis. So these two meet, they hit it off, and they kept in touch after the conference. So Jodi was technically still in a relationship with Daryl at this point, and according to the timeline, Jodi and Travis didn't actually start officially dating until February 2007, prior to that, in November 2006, Jodi converted to Mormonism and was actually baptized by Travis. And this decision wasn't sporadic, or maybe it was, but Travis had spoken to Jodi at length about his faith and how important it was to him. And the things he told her seemed to resonate with her. Plus, she was falling for this guy. So I think that played into the reasons why she decided to convert. And there's actually a photo of the two of them at her baptism, like in all white. It's a sweet picture, but
Yeah.
given everything
Wow.
that happened after, it's kind of sad. So
Mm-hmm.
after after the conference in Vegas and her conversion to Mormonism in November 2006, Daryl started to notice big changes in Jodi and testified later in court that she had become completely different from the woman that he had been in a relationship with. So, for starters, Jodi had always been super responsible when it came to her finances, and now all of a sudden she was starting to get into debt. And Daryl would also later testify that their sex life around this time was non existent when before it was nonstop and, quote, aggressive. So I felt really
Dang.
uncomfortable when I read that. So when Daryl confronted her about this, Jodi's response or reason was that she was now abstaining from sex due to her newfound religion. And that may as well that may have been true, but I don't think it was because no. So they finally broke up either right at the end of 2006 or beginning of 2007, but remained acquaintances. So they were like not, they didn't cut each other out. So February 2007, Jodi and Travis officially become a couple. There was quite literally no time wasted. At first, everything was hunky dory, lovey dovey, honeymooner status, but it was also really intense. For starters, they were always in contact 24/7. When they weren't together, they were calling each other, texting, emailing, and just nonstop communication on the phone like this. And I read somewhere that during the course of their short-lived relationship, they had actually sent each other over 80,000 emails. How? I should also I know
How?
80,000. I don't even think I've sent that many in my lifetime thus far.
No, exactly.
And I should point out that for the majority of their relationship, and at this point, they were a long distance couple. She was California based and he was based in Arizona. So I get like being in contact, but 80,000 emails, it's like, do you sleep? Do you poop?
Yeah.
Like, what's
I
going
hate
on?
emails. For real, I'm like, oh God.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's hilarious. I'm like, I prefer the email. I'm like, can you just, or text? Like,
I mean,
oh,
I definitely prefer doing that than talking to
yeah.
someone, but
Like,
still, I'm like,
that's
that's
hilarious. But when the couple would make plans to see each other, they would meet up at the home of Sky and Chris Hughes, who were Travis's really good friends. They visited often, like they would just link up here. So the Hughes graciously gave Jodi and Travis each their own rooms where they could stay when they visited. So, because remember, everyone's Mormon. Nobody's supposed to be sleeping together if they're not married. It's not allowed. So they had their own rooms. But it is accurate to say that this is the one part of the religion that both Travis and Jodi did not practice. Okay. So,
okay, shoot.
yes, it was freaky deaky up in there.
And
Oh,
she
that's a
already,
phrase.
oh yeah, Freaky Deaky, that was a big one back then.
That was huge.
Yes, it was. And once you get a taste of it, it's hard to stop. And
It makes it even more like desirable too. Like I can't
exactly.
have the forbidden fruit, but I want it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
She was dangling that in front of his face.
Like the grape, the
Uh-huh.
apple. Oh my God.
God.
But yeah, so the Hughes, they thought that Jodi, at first anyways, they thought that Jodi and Travis made a cute couple. And yeah, from the pictures online, they were definitely a cute looking couple. However, they started to look at Jodi differently when she began to act overly possessive over Travis and quickly. She would get so irritated when she would see Travis talk to another woman, and it wasn't in a romantic sense. It was like how Tony says would talk to me or Kara. Like,
Hmm. Yeah.
so
See,
like that.
red
And
flag.
so if she saw that, she would practically like pee all over him to let every woman know that she was his girl. Like she marked her territory. And Travis didn't seem to mind, but the Hughes were like, this girl is too much. They didn't like how possessive she was over Travis. And they also knew that she would hack into his social media accounts and look through his private emails. So they definitely gave her major side eye for that. So
Wow.
the Hughes were like, we need to talk to our friend ASAP and warn him. And they did have this talk. However, during their private convo, they heard a noise and realized that Jodi was eavesdropping outside the door. Travis went to open the door and, Jodi was standing on the other side, all, oh, is everything, are you guys okay? Like,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
And it was then that Travis finally saw that Jodi was a bit cuckoo. He was
Mm-hmm.
like, uh-oh. However, they didn't break up yet. Remember how I mentioned that abstinence was not a part of their relationship? Well, I guess it
Mm-hmm.
was too good to let go of, though Travis at this point was struggling with his guilt about the premarital sex. Like he knew or he believed that it was wrong, and his religion was super important to him. And he felt like he had messed up big time. And it was something that would weigh heavy on his heart until the day he died. So that's
Wow.
unfortunate. So the couple, they continued dating and hooking up until June of 2007 when Travis finally called it quits. His friends were on him to end the relationship, and he honestly didn't see a future with Jodi anymore, especially because of all of that premarital sex they were partaking in. So Jodi did not take she didn't take the breakup well at all. She was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I am going to move from California and I'm gonna go move to Arizona to be closer to Travis, even though we're no longer in a relationship. Huh?
Dang.
Like, isn't that cray? And I'm sorry, I said I wasn't gonna use this word again, but it needs to be said.
Mm-hmm.
Delulu. And it gets worse. So Jodi would roll up to Travis's house unannounced in the middle of the night on multiple occasions, would let herself in the garage because for whatever reason, Travis had given her his code and he had not changed it. She would then go up to his room, crawl into his bed, and snuggle. Uh huh. I literally have chills. It's scary to wake up in the middle of the
Yeah.
night to find someone sleeping in your bed when you had originally gone to sleep alone. Believe me, this has happened to me. And it's like a what moment. But
Yeah.
Travis apparently didn't seem to mind because here he has this beautiful, warm woman, a warm body, and appear magically in his bed with whom he has always had amazing sex with. So it was only natural to not question things and quite literally roll with it. So they were like, Facebook
Yeah.
status, it's complicated. So
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Jodi, she was still super into Travis. And Travis was only interested in Jodi for the occasional booty call. So that sucks because she's like, okay, he's like, oh, he's letting me go into his bed and we're being together. So it must mean something to him too. No, it didn't. It was just a booty call to the man. Okay. And
See?
he had
Mm-mm.
actually like moved on. He started dating again. Like he was like, next. However,
How
shortly
long were they like how long were they apart? Or like did they ever break it off? Like
So
officially or
so they
was
they started dating in February 2007 and in June of 2007 he was like, "You know what? I can't do this anymore." And then she was like, "I'm going to
okay.
move to be closer to you." But they were
Gotcha.
broken up.
So he said we're done and she
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, okay, well, I'm going to move there so you can't deny me."
Uh-huh.
Oh
Right?
God. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's scary to think there's girls that are really like this. A lot
Uh-huh.
of them.
I don't know. Like it's insane how the mind works. But so
Yeah.
like he was dating, he was like whatever, and shortly after he began to date like his latest girl, his car tires were slashed, and the new girlfriend started complaining about prank calls, her door and windows being knocked on at night. Imagine that. And Travis was like, fuck, it is Jodi. Like, I know it. So he confronted her about all this, and she denied everything, but informed Travis that she was going to move back to California and he wouldn't have to deal with her again. And she actually did leave. For a while, Travis felt at peace and like he was finally going to like live his life peacefully again. But even after Jodi moved, they still kept in touch constantly via texts and emails. At this point, both Jodi and Travis were seeing other people but couldn't quit each other. Their
Wow.
but now their messages to each other were becoming really toxic and they were constantly arguing with one another. Jodi was jealous of Travis seeing other women, but Travis, who wasn't interested in Jodi like for anything more than a booty call, he was jealous that she was dating other men. Like,
Hmm.
excuse you?
Wow.
Um, During one of their texts or emails, Jodi shared that she would be traveling to Salt Lake City for another work convention and that she would be visiting her new man, Mr. Ryan Burns, while there. Why does Travis care or need to know? But she told him. Travis is like, cool. I'm actually going to go to Cancun with a lady friend. So you have fun. And they were like, okay, bye. And that was true. Travis was going to go to Cancun with a woman he had gone on a few dates with that he really liked. As the date got closer, the woman named Mimi realized that she hadn't heard from Travis at all and started to get worried. She called, no answer. She called his friends and asked if they had spoken or seen Travis at all. And they were like, no, we haven't, but we will go check on him now. It would
Hmm.
also come out later that Travis had actually missed an important conference call on June 4th. And by the time the friends were notified that he was missing, it was June 9th, 2008. So 5 days. So the friends head to Travis's house and knock, but no answer. They heard his dog inside and they were like, okay, something's up. So they go to the garage and get into the house via the garage because guess what? They also had the garage code. I mean, I guess in this case, thank God, but
Dang.
that's too
Yeah.
many people knowing how to get
Yeah,
into his house.
exactly. Ugh.
So,
And when you break up with someone, change the freaking
thank
code. And
you.
I don't even know if I would give it to you
Yeah,
until we're engaged.
ex-
Okay? Because these
exactly.
bitches be psycho, including the men.
Yes, very
Ugh.
true. Your face.
I'm so annoyed.
No, I
Like,
know. It was like, come on, you,
ugh.
yes. So,
Especially with her coming in, like sneaking in your bed.
well, apparently he didn't mind that too much now, did
He
he?
did. He didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So the friends get in, go through the house, and begin calling out for Travis, and they get no response. They pound on his roommate's bedroom door because they realize that there's loud noise coming from in there. So they're pound, 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 pound. Finally, the roommate opens the door and he hadn't heard them because he was watching a movie hella loud. So they asked him about Travis, and the roommate was like, I thought he left for Cancun already. Again, what? So they all start looking around and find a key that accessed Travis's master bedroom. They enter the room and noticed a ton of blood near the bathroom door. They open the door and are shocked to see the entire room covered in blood. Somehow, they put aside their shock and go fully inside the bathroom to investigate. And that is when they see Travis's body slumped over in the shower. And he's unfortunately deceased. He had been shot and stabbed to death. And it was a messy bloodbath in there. It was like unbelievable. So the friends call 911 to report the murder. And the 911 dispatcher apparently asked the friend, who called if Travis had any known enemies. Was he suicidal? Did anyone have a reason to kill him? Like, the standard questions. And the friend was like, you need to look at Jodi Arias as prime suspect number one. Okay. And
Hello.
the friend explained that Jodi was his unstable, stalkery ex-girlfriend, and that if anyone had a motive to murder Travis in such a cold manner or at all, it was Jodi. She was completely obsessed with him even after their breakup. Meanwhile, the medical examiner, so like that, they get all that down. The police are notified. Medical examiner gets a hold of Travis's body due to the autopsy. And it was discovered that Travis had been shot in the head, right? Then stabbed 27 times. 13 of those stabs were on his back. Okay. And then he had his throat slashed from ear to ear, practically decapitating him. It was brutal. And lots of that were, I mean, the whole thing was unnecessary, but like I think the gunshot was the reason for his death. Like everything else was just like a crime of passion. Um, During the investigation of the crime scene, the police found a bloody handprint on the wall, long brown, hair strands, and a digital camera in Travis's washing machine.
Wow.
Weird, right? Like, why is there
Mm-hmm.
a camera in the machine? And more on that camera in just a moment. So, the police now have a prime suspect that they need to locate. So, while police do that, let's check in on Jodi and her whereabouts around the time of the murder.
Hmm.
So, Miss Thang actually did go to Utah, like she emailed Travis about. She
Mm-hmm.
also went to go see her new man, Ryan Burns, in West Jordan, Utah. And this was approximately on June 5th, 2008. So when he opened the door to greet his girl, he was quite literally taken aback when he saw her. Because when he first met her, she was blonde. And that's actually how everyone knew Jodi, as a blonde. On this day, he opens the door to find Jodi as a brunette, like chocolate brown, looking like a completely different woman. Okay, like that's weird, number one. And also weird, she had these weird, like strange cuts all over her hands, and it was so like obvious and shocking that it caught Ryan's attention. So like he asks her about the cuts and she basically chalked it up to occupational hazard because at this point she's still also working in the restaurant business. So apparently you just get butchered, opening bottles, right? Like
Exactly.
I
Come
didn't know it was such a
on.
bloodbath back there. So
Yeah.
um so he's like,
Wow.
okay. So they hang out. I know. They're like, let's chill. Your hands are weird. They hang
For
out,
real.
and on June 7th, 2008, Jodi was already back in California and had returned her rental car back to the place in Redding. So that's where she rented it from. June 19th, the police finally get Jodi in for questioning. And ladies and gentlemen, you will never have seen such an interrogation. It's truly one for the books. And I'm telling you, probably the reason why so many documentaries and movies on this crime were made. In the interest of time, I do want to share some of the highlights. So, before Jodi had her mugshot taken, she straight up asked if she could fix herself up a bit because, this was like she was going to take a glamour shot, not a
Oh yeah.
mugshot. She was acting like it was like a JC Penney photo shoot, okay? So like they were like no, but yet she still like smiled for the camera. Like she's like smirking. Like what? Excuse me?
Wow.
Jennifer Lopez has a mugshot on file, right?
Uh-huh.
When Puff Daddy, that whole thing went down, she
Hmm.
looks tore up in her mugshot because she's
She
devastated.
does.
That's how you look in a mugshot. You don't look proud.
Yeah, you're not like
I mean, unless you're wait, who was it? Was it Lindsay Lohan? Who was an iconic one?
I think it what
Paris
Lindsay.
Hilton. Paris Hilton has a
Yeah.
great mugshot.
Yes. I mean, oh God.
I mean,
But see, but Jodi Arias is like hella vain.
she's so vain. I
Hmm.
mean, she even said that to the police. She's like, "You're gonna think this is really vain of me to ask, but can I please like fix myself up like
And I'm
before the
surprised they let her.
They said no, but she
Uh,
was like, she just fixed her hair and like, yeah, she just made it work somehow and it still looks good. I mean, it's right up there with Paris Hilton's mugshot.
Yeah, wow. That's
Damn.
impressive.
So that was one.
Hmm.
Another, the cops bring Jodi into the interrogation room. Cameras are rolling, as is the audio, because that's standard procedure. And the shit she does while she's alone in that room. For example, she kicks off her shoes and does a freaking handstand. Okay. Like, because that's what we do when we're arrested for first degree murder. We do a handstand. Apparently, we also sing songs to ourselves when we're arrested for first degree murder. She sang a couple songs, including Oh Holy Night. She also talked to herself and she called herself a brat. What the fuck?
How random.
And
From
those
the
are
handstands all the way to that. There is
Yeah, those are just my favorite points of the moment. She's just
wow.
ridiculous. So once the
Hmm.
interrogation began, Jodi, of course, denied her involvement and straight up said to the cops that if she is convicted for this murder, the person who really did it will just be sitting pretty out there for the rest of their lives, having gotten away with murder. The cops sit and listen to her deny, 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 and then they hit her with some cold facts. They told her, look, we found this bloody palm print and it matches your palm print. Listen to what this host says. So, like, okay. She was like, couldn't that have been my palm print from a prior visit and then the blood got transferred over the existing palm print? Exactly. Your face is what they were doing to her at that point.
Wow.
Then they hit her with, we found some hair strands that match you and they're brown like your hair currently is. She's
Hmm.
like, no, it's not me. Then the cops were like, well, we found the digital camera you left in the washing machine. Again, she's all, no, that's not me. And I
Oh
bet
my
she was
God.
thinking that the water probably messed up the camera and the pictures it contained would be wiped clean. But they were actually able to recover the memory card. Like they were able to recover some images from this memory card. And they were like they painted like it was like a comic, not a comic book, but it was like a freaking book, a photo book, a coffee table book, if you
Damn.
will.
Hmm.
Okay, and it shows what happened that night. It like as if you didn't even need to be there. You just needed to read this book to see what
Wow.
happened. Okay. So, and including the photos, like the photos were time and date stamped. So, yeah, she was she was like well done.
Okay.
She was done. She was toast. So,
Mhm.
some of the pictures taken the day of the murder were the two of them having sex. Then in the shower, then of Travis in the shower, and then pictures of him bleeding. She analyzes the pictures. She's like, oh, okay, including one of her kuka, okay, her straight up vagina, okay, and she's like, I guess this could be me,
Damn.
but it's not me. And she continued to deny, 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 and straight up told police that if she had murdered Travis, she would be the first to beg for the death penalty. Like, I would admit it. Finally, after hours of this nonsense, Jodi changes her story. She tells police that she had called Travis and told him that she was in Arizona and that she was going to visit him because she wanted to see him. He allegedly told her, come on over because I want to see you too. So she arrives at his house on June 4th, 2008, around 3 in the morning. They talked for a bit and they fell asleep. On June 5th, 2008, they woke up in the late afternoon, had sex, and proceeded to have their kinky photo shoot. The photo shoot was moved to the bathroom to use the water for an artsy flair. Okay. So, like, the next thing that happened was Travis suddenly slumped over, and Jodi looked up and saw two masked people who told her that they were not here for her, but to kill Travis, and that they knew who she was. And if she ever told anyone what happened, they would find her and kill her. The cops are like, okay, we're not buying what you're selling. So Jodi takes a breath dramatically and told them that she actually killed Travis, but that it was in self defense. And
Hmm.
let me pause to remind everybody that he was shot in the head, stabbed repeatedly, and then nearly decapitated. But sure, Jodi, sure, self defense. Okay. So
Damn.
she tells them that he had been abusive throughout their whole toxic relationship. And on June 4th, she did go see him, like she had said. They did have sex and they did move their photo shoot to the shower, but that she had accidentally dropped his camera in the water, which allegedly enraged him, and he proceeded to kick the shit out of her. Something that he did often, according to Jodi. But this time felt different. Like if she didn't defend herself, he would kill her. So she ran to his closet to grab his gun and shot him. And this is
Wow.
all that Jodi remembered from that night. Apparently, she blacked out during the stabbing and everything that happened
Oh,
afterwards.
how convenient.
Yeah. So Jodi was finally arrested on July 15, 2008, um, on the charges of first degree murder. And she was actually at her grandparents' in California when she was arrested. So they had to extradite her back to Arizona, which is where her trial would take place eventually.
Hmm.
On September 11, 2008, Jodi pled not guilty at her arraignment. The next day, she gave an interview to the press, pretty much denying any involvement in Travis's murder. She then gives an interview on Inside Edition, and this time she publicly states that she was with Travis when two intruders busted into the home and murdered him. So she went back to that old story. And
Hmm.
on October
Wow.
31st, 2008, the prosecutors requested the death penalty in Jodi's case. And if it had passed, she would have been the first woman to be executed in Arizona via the death penalty. And when I
Wow.
was researching it, it looks like only 18 women have ever been executed via the death penalty in the United States. So that's,
Wow.
yeah, so she would
Yeah,
have been
that's
19.
dang.
Um, and Jodi's murder trial didn't actually begin until January 2nd, 2013. And this trial was as popular, if not more popular, than the O.J. Simpson trial. People were flying in from all over the world, not over, from all over, I should say, and buying tickets to sit inside the courtroom, like $200 a pop. Jodi herself testified for almost 20 days, and her defense attorneys pretty much they painted Travis as an abuser and even a pedophile. Because Jodi claimed that she had
Wow.
caught Travis with some child pornography at one point and just was like, no, you can't look at that. And, da, da, da. And
Yeah,
there
what a
were,
low blow.
well, what didn't help was they played a tape from one of their phone conversations and they were
Mhm.
having phone sex. And Jodi, I guess, is faking an orgasm on the phone. And then
Mhm.
Travis says to Jodi that she sounds like a 12-year-old having her first orgasm. So that made
Mm.
people feel a little weird. Like,
Yeah.
does he have pedophile tendencies? Who knows?
Mm.
But another nail in Jodi's coffin, her ex-boyfriend testified, not on her behalf. Like her defense team didn't call him, the prosecution did. And he testified that Jodi had called around the time of her little road trip back in June 2008 and asked him if he could get her 2 cans of gasoline. Why would she need this? Maybe not to leave a trail while in Arizona. So is this premeditation? Like she wasn't going to leave like any
Hmm.
sign of herself there. That took planning. So
Yeah,
premeditated murder.
exactly.
Um, May 2013, Jodi was found 1,000% guilty for the murder of Travis Alexander, but she actually wasn't sentenced until April 2015 because the jury was deadlocked on the death penalty issue. Interestingly enough, the jury in 2013 couldn't decide about the death penalty, right? So 2015, they had to bring a new jury and present the facts of the case, and they were also deadlocked on the death penalty issue. So, in the end, the judge had to decide for the jury, and the judge decided to sentence Jodi to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
Wow.
Now, Jodi showed some remorse at her sentencing hearing, but would later go on to file an appeal in
Mm.
2019 of the decision. But thankfully, the judge was like, nope, denied. So she is currently serving her life sentence at the Arizona State Prison Complex. And apparently, she's living her best life behind bars. She really is.
Dang.
Audio from a phone call between Jodi and her rapper boyfriend, who goes by the name Lefty, was leaked, and she could be heard saying, if this is what it's like to be hated, then keep on hating. And she's receiving so much love that she can't even respond to it all. And I believe it because people are crazy. Like, I'm sure she has like thousands of like fiancés and shit. But
Hmm.
in summation, that is the Jodi Arias case. Like we could like I could have done a whole episode on the trial, but like the murder, like so what are your like thoughts on this woman?
I don't even know. She's a nut. Sorry.
Delulu?
Yes, she is Delulu for sure. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't even know. Like, she is literally a sociopath.
Yes.
Like, she is what killers are made of. And yes, we don't really, and I guess that's the thing, like, when it comes to like the pedophilia part of, you know, what we hear, what we've heard. I always feel, and I think that was a huge part of this murder, like the trial, was that he wasn't alive to defend himself in any way. So it was really all these things. She was so good about playing a certain role, playing the victim, being psycho, all this stuff that, I mean, yeah, he might have said that or whatever. Like, I don't know. I think that that's the part that's most disturbing because I don't even know, even like how she killed him. Was there any speculation about like if there was another person involved?
Mm-mm.
So is she like, what did she, did she shoot him first? Or
They say
she?
that he died from the gunshot, and then the stabs were like he may because it was in the head.
Mm-hmm.
Like so, like I think it was fatal is what they said, and then the stabbing was kind of like pointless.
Oh my gosh.
And
I
that's
don't
like
know.
totally like a crime of passion. Like when you do
Mm-hmm.
it to that extreme, you're pissed. You're like it's
Oh,
personal.
totally. Yeah, exactly. So apparently I think it's like that normal thing where she obviously was pissed that he was dating other girls.
Hmm.
So let's lure him in my bed, have sex with him, and then kill him.
Isn't that
You
fucked
know?
up?
Yeah. I just, I don't know. I mean, and you always look at their childhood and obviously, like, maybe she didn't have, like you said, like the best upbringing. Like you said, there's different stories about what her upbringing was about. But I mean, look at even Travis didn't have the best either.
Yeah.
But, and it's sad too because I feel like he kind of had to mask who he was even in the church
Yeah.
because of the sins he had committed,
Yeah.
and no matter how, see, to me, this is just this this story. Okay, I mean, I don't know if this is a good idea to show young kids, like, you know, um, high schoolers, but you know, for me, like, these are the kind of stories when we were younger that made me cautious about who I dated.
Yes.
To where I wasn't so eager to just be like, "Oh my God, I have a crush. I'm gonna date you." You know what I mean? Like, because if you get stuck with someone like her, you're effed. And if anything, it'll show you the red flags. Like, But that also shows you that, hell, when the sex is good, you don't see nothing. Because there was a whole bunch of red flags. Even people were telling him, and he's still, even though she was very pushy and very persistent,
Yeah. It
you
was just
know?
too good.
But they even said, I even heard things too, that she is so cunning and has a way about her that she was even very like persuasive to even people like the guards in jail,
Yes.
and she had a way about her.
Inmates, like her cellmate was who actually had Jodi officiate her wedding
Mm-hmm.
to her wife. She was like, "Oh yeah, Jodi used her looks and her charm to get what she wanted from the guards." What does
See,
that mean? Like
yeah, exactly. See, I don't. She's just strange. It makes me sad though, because it was very sad when you used. Because my mom watched the whole trial, and I remember her talking about it, and then I had watched a couple documentaries on it, and it was really sad. Like, it was it broke my heart for the family of
yeah.
Travis, because they to have to relive that, and to hear like the pictures that she took. She
Yeah.
knew what she was doing all along.
It's just
And ugh, what a sicko.
yeah, she's something else, all right. And she's
Ugh.
still, just living her best life. So there
See?
you go.
Dang, that is
Delulu.
big time Delulu, obsessive. See? Ugh.
Mm-mm.
See, and when people like people get those obsessive tendencies, I'm telling you, that's some scary shit. When
Ew.
people get like, very possessive, see, that's a red flag. You can have a boyfriend, you have a girlfriend, and from the get-go, they're controlling, possessive, obsessive,
Ugh.
whatever. Get out, because the more you get entangled in it, the more they're going to shoot you down, or they're not going to let you leave. You can break up with them, but in their eyes, you're still theirs.
Ew. Oh my God, it's dark down
Mm,
here.
Okay, because uh-uh. I'm sorry. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised at the fact that she knew that he was within the religion and very deep in it. It was like a challenge for her to it like turned her on to persuade him even more.
Yeah.
You know? What a sicko. Oh, man. I don't know. Great job, Steph. Because honestly, and if anybody has time, watch some of these
Oh,
documentaries, because dang, it will make you go down a rabbit hole.
yes.
Ugh.
Yes. Do it.
Mm-mm. Yeah. For
Yeah.
real. Do
And
it.
read and
Because
read the transcripts.
it is interesting. It really is. So do you think that she was, do you think she was, she claimed he had like beat her up, right?
Yes.
And do you think that was true?
No, I don't
Yeah, I don't
believe
think
it.
that either. Me either.
Mm-mm.
Oh, what a nut job. Mm-mm.
Your
And
face.
wait, real quick. So was it is okay, did you say she might have killed or another boyfriend of hers died prior to this? Or am I
I
thinking
didn't.
of someone else? Am I thinking of Casey Anthony?
I
Thinking of
think you might
Casey.
be because as far as I know, like the boyfriends that were discussed heavily in the trial were Daryl Brewer. Like it focused on him.
Okay.
Yeah. They brought
Yeah.
up like this animal cruelty thing,
Mm-hmm.
where
Mm.
she kicked her dog and
Uh-huh.
but that's all. Yeah, I didn't.
Hmm. That's not, I
Ugh,
don't, yeah, I
Casey
don't like
Anthony's
that.
another one.
Yeah, for, oh, shoot. Yeah, that's like a two, three-parter. I
Good.
don't know. I don't know. This is
Mm-hmm.
a good one though.
Mm.
And definitely, ooh, a chilling account of just like you said, a crime of passion.
Yeah.
Dang. Mm-mm. I don't know. I can't stand this hoe.
I know.
I really
I feel the
can't.
same way.
I want to slap her
And
face.
her
Like,
voice.
yes. I mean, she's pretty. And I did not like when she dyed her hair blonde. I just want to say it did not
Yeah.
look good.
Yeah.
But I just feel like she's just ooh, very evil.
Yes.
You
Oh,
can tell
conniving.
she's evil, like just looking at her.
Yep. There's like no soul behind that smirk.
No, she must have really turned on the charm. That's all
Oh
I gotta
yeah.
say. Because,
Yeah.
ugh, just read those red flags, people.
Believe them when they're being waved at you.
Yeah.
Okay?
Or when your friends are telling you things, listen to
Yes.
them.
Yes. If anything, if you don't take anything else from this episode, please take that and also change your freaking garage codes or door codes.
Yeah, just don't
Okay?
give it out until you like literally have a wedding date.
Yeah, very true.
And don't, yeah, don't give your key.
No,
Nothing.
no. Don't give your number.
Yeah, there are so many, yes, exactly. There are so many things that you can learn from this story because,
Ugh.
and don't get caught up in the sex part of it.
It's hard though. I get it, but like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
ah.
Yeah. It's that whole thing of like when you don't want anybody to know, it makes it more exciting, right?
Yeah.
Like, that whole secretive aspect of it. It's like, oh, we shouldn't
Secret
be doing
lovers.
this.
Yes.
Yeah, we shouldn't be doing this, but let's do it.
Very Zach
Shh.
Morris.
Yes. Exactly. Oh my gosh. Well, great episode, Steph. I loved it. I really did. This was brought me back. I can't believe it was 2008.
I know.
It
Time
feels like it was
flies.
it was like a couple years ago. That's insane.
Agreed. Oh my gosh. No, it's
Hmm.
definitely, yeah, I had to do it. It was just last, our Wednesday episode reminded me of her. So it's,
Hmm.
we had to keep the Delulu train going. But thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for listening and making me laugh. And yeah, this has been Crime Talk, and we will see you guys next Wednesday. Oh,
Hmm.
yes. And we love you.
Yes.
And what do I say? Oh, catch you on the flip side.
Oh yeah. Peace out, buddies. Woo
Oh,
woo.
yeah.